Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. President Biden plans to join infrastructure talks between a bipartisan group of senators today. The White House says the senators made progress on Wednesday. Citing a source familiar with the talks, the Associated Press reports the group reached a tentative framework for a deal. The FDA says it will add a warning to the Pfizer and Moderna coronavirus vaccines after government scientists found a likely connection between the shots and rare types of heart inflammation in young people. Doctors and researchers advising the CDC say they still strongly recommend that all Americans 12 and older get vaccinated. Increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases have prompted Freeman Hospital to reopen its COVID-19 unit. The unit closed back in March due to low patient numbers. Freeman doctors say that despite the unit reopening, they're not concerned about capacity issues, but that this is not a good trend. Freeman currently has 41 patients in the COVID unit and says a vast majority are receiving oxygen. They encourage anyone who is still unvaccinated to get a vaccine. Missouri senators are back at the Capitol to work on a critical piece of Medicaid funding. Governor Mike Parson called lawmakers back to Jefferson City to pass a tax on medical providers. The tax draws down a significant amount of federal Medicaid funding. The tax was not renewed during a regular session because of a fight over Medicaid coverage for Planned Parenthood and some family planning services. Governor Parson says lawmakers have until July 1st to re-up the tax. Otherwise, he says he'll cut $722 million from the state budget to make up for it. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
I tell you, here's what we're going to look at. While I point out the temperatures, I'm going to use the arrow here to talk about the rain that the northwestern section of the 4 states is going to see right there, say Yates Center to Iola. But now I want to transition down to the southern portion, all throughout northeast Oklahoma, because while we've been talking about the thunderstorm activity moving in from the north, we do have heat advisories as well. Feeling about like 102 to 103, the farther south that you get today. Everybody's pretty much going to range up into the 90s. We're going to have back-to-back days of hot and humid weather. Now we'll get some thunderstorm activity